Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of my Out of the Park Baseball 21 series with the Colorado Rockies. And you may notice pretty quickly by where we are at on the screen that we're not in the offseason, we're actually opening day, and that is actually because I switched the device that I used to record the series. I got a new computer, and so that means I had to reset up kind of the settings for recording on the screen for the series, and I just didn't kind of just left everything default settings thinking it would be alright, but just the file type that I recorded this video in just wasn't the correct type. So I actually went ahead, recorded the off-season video, and then tried to put it in the editing software to edit it, and it just wouldn't take the file type that I used. I forget what it ended up being used, but it just wouldn't take the file type, so I just can't edit that, and it's not really in a state that I could post it because it didn't have any audio of me narrating over it or anything. So it just couldn't that couldn't be done. But thankfully, not many off-season moves were made. Of course, this was the first season, so there aren't really many moves to make because we're not really trying to contend right away. But I will go over kind of the moves we did make, and we made very, very few. So one move that we made, one of these smaller ones, was Jake Lamb. We signed him to a very small contract, $1.3 million for 1 year. So he's going to be platooning at first base, and his platoon partner will be Sherton Apostle, who we picked in the Rule 5 draft, which again, one of the few moves we did make. He crushed High A last year, so we're going to be calling him up. He's a Rule 5 draft pick, so he has to be on the roster. Then William Contreras, we drafted him in the Rule 5 draft as well. A pretty good hitting catcher here, brother of Wilson Contreras, of course, on the Cubs. And then pitching is kind of where the bigger moves happened, i.e. really just two moves. So Jose Gonzalez, we signed him. He's an elite reliever that we signed from the international free agents part of this offseason, and we offered him basically $4.5 million for 4 years, 1 year player option. So he's going to be joining our team this year and is the best reliever on our team and will fill the closer role to start the season. And then Jose Castillo, he is also a young player that we signed to a pretty controllable deal this offseason. Another lefty, so he will be in the bullpen to start the season. And also you can note here, this is kind of the alignment that I decided to go to, who I decided to keep on the Major League roster, which also I went over at the end of that video. So you can see here pretty much all the pitchers that are on the roster. Not really any surprises. Junior Fernandez, who we acquired via trade in the Charlie Blackmon trade. See the other guy we acquired here, Ryan Helsley. He's on the roster here. So Junior Fernandez is starting in the minors, basically because he performed poorly last year. So I'm going to give him a chance to kind of build up a little bit here. And then here is our lineup against right-handed pitching. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, so our lineup against right-handed pitching here again, not very really any surprises at all. And then our lineup here against left-handed pitching. So yeah, not really anything too surprising there. Now I think I'm going to quickly go over any injuries here. Not major league injuries, but so we don't really have any other things of note that I can think of. Jeter Downs, he is going to be starting the season on the Major League roster. We'll see how that goes. He, of course, did not perform well last year, so we'll see if we decide to keep him up. Another thing we'll go over here is top prospects to see how our system rates this year after, of course, we were pretty low last year, and we are, again, very low. Ryan Rollison is our only top 100 prospect, which I'm not quite sure how that works because we definitely have guys like Tristan Cassius, who should very well be top 100 prospects. I do not understand how they're not, but I guess for some reason they're just not listed here. But our system's definitely way better than it was, so nothing really. Yeah, just not quite sure about that. What happened there? Why that's not kind of showing up there. The only other moves of note kind of in the offseason were that we let really one player just walk for free agency, and that was Daniel Murphy. I thought he had a team option. Apparently it was just a player option, and he decided to decline his option. So we then offered him the qualifying offer because he was seeking about $15 million for a couple years, and you can see here that he did not get that deal. He got really half of that pretty much this year. So maybe in hindsight, he wishes that he had taken that deal, but he did not. So that's on him, and we will be getting a compensation pick for losing him. So at least that'll be good. We'll get something in return for losing him, because we did try to trade him last season, but it just did not work out. Boston needs to start first baseman. Oh, they picked Howie Kendrick. Not sure I'd consider him a star, but I guess good pickup for them. Of course, that's where we traded Arenado. Then we're going to go here, look, Hall of Fame voting is the next thing that we have to cover. Voting results. 3 guys get in: Bonds, Clemens, Schilling. Of course, Bonds and Clemens, steroid ties all over the place. But they get in here, and I think they'll probably get in real life. Not going to say too much about that. And then Kurt Schilling gets in as well. Definitely not going to say anything more about him than a few guys here who will probably get in eventually. Bray, Hudson, Ramirez, Vizquel probably also get in. Helton maybe. But that's really that for that. So again, we looked at injuries. We didn't really suffer any. We're actually a game into the season where we dropped a game. And I think that's honestly going to do it for this episode. Pretty short episode, of course. I meant for it to be longer, covering pretty much everything from the offseason. But again, unfortunately, just kind of lost that footage. Wasn't able to edit it, like I said, wrong file. Definitely kind of threw me for a loop there when I was kind of switching devices for which I'm recording this. But I shouldn't have no problems going forward in this series, and definitely expected me to keep posting it pretty much every day. At least I plan to post it as much as I can. If I miss a day, I miss a day. If I miss 2 days, miss 2 days. But I'm definitely trying to not miss more than that, because I definitely enjoy playing the series. And of course, if I'm getting the videos out every day, that means I'm playing the series. But again, so thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next episode.